In some cases, I think some people experiment and maybe they don't like it. I don't know how
Right.
that works. That's only between them, um, and their college dorm mate. But um,
Well, me and George were roommates, so we experimented. So that's where he was going now. Okay. It got weird with his brother being right there, though. But,
hey, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, the podcast with strong opinions about things that we may or may not know too much about in order to broaden perspectives. Today, I always say I joke around, I don't have friends, but
he really doesn't.
I really don't have friends. But
It's not a
this
joke.
is a friend from work, a colleague. He actually started working at the same school that I teach at currently,
Oh, wow.
maybe a year or two after me. So you could say I showed him the ropes. Just kidding. I didn't.
Yeah.
He learned nothing from me, and that's why he's a great teacher. But his name is David Alfaro. Um, we grew to know each other through work. We stay in touch, sort of. He kind of just avoids my Facebook invites to everything. But David Alfaro, thank you for coming on the podcast. Uh,
Yeah, thank
we're gonna
you.
talk. I don't know if this is gonna be a serious
Are we gonna talk
podcast.
about gay stuff
Have fun.
or what?
We're gonna what? Gang stuff.
Gay stuff. Are we gonna talk about gay stuff? Not
Well,
George cut that out.
this is about gay stuff. This is about gangsta life because I'm grew up in the West Side, man. So that's where I come from.
Hell yeah.
West Side. Oh damn, we got a cholo up in here. No, we're gonna talk about real stuff actually. But before we do that, let's get started. Sit back, buckle up. Let's go too hard, too fast. Boom.
Right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Hey, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast. Next time, if you guys ever invite me back, be more offensive.
We're just testing the waters, man.
Yeah.
Water. Hey, guaranteed you're gonna come back.
Appreciate it.
The podcast of the century.
Right.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, remember, whatever we talk about today, we're not trying to change your mind. We're
Just trying to offend
broaden your
you.
perspectives,
We're
ladies
trying to
and
be canceled. Just
Trying to be
cancel culture.
gentlemen. We're trying to get canceled before we get famous. Hey, David, what are you drinking, though? That's the most important question right now.
Drinking the most butch drink you can, a Truly Punch.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be switching back and forth between those and the Topo Chicos here.
What's a Truly Punch? Is that a different, like a seltzer or no?
Yeah, it's a seltzer, but I guess it's sweeter. It tastes like a fruit punch, actually, and there's different flavors. So
You
it's
already
not
cracked
as
it up?
it's open, man. Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're gonna get you to do: is I want you to taste it. Obviously, you've already probably had it for a little bit. I want you to rate it using decimals 1.0 to 2, based on the way it looks, the alcohol content compared to the price, the taste, and would you buy it again?
Okay. So let me give it a taste. They're 5% alcohol. If I was going to give it a rating, I'd probably give it like a 1.6, 1.7. It's got a good taste. I'll definitely buy it again. It's definitely catches my eye.
Nice.
So
You like the logo and all
the
that?
only thing that's missing from it right now would be like the tahini and the chamoy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So once you do that, it's definitely rated higher for sure.
Dang, wow.
Well, 1.6 it's a little high on us. That's a good score.
Yeah.
So that means, Worm, what are you drinking?
I'll do my beer later on because it's still getting cold. So body warm, sorry. But for now, I'm gonna be drinking one of my go-tos. It's summer, it's hot as hell. So summer ale to cool me down. You know what I mean? I still wear my mask too, because I just don't want people to see my face when I'm at the stores. You know what I mean? I hate to bump into someone and then talk to them and just waste time. So, David, I hope you're vaccinated, bro. I'm taking this off.
I'm good to go, man.
All
I'm
right.
good to go.
Even if you're not, oh well. You're probably immune by now, so it's all good.
That among other things, man.
Yeah. Oh. So boom. Summer ale. Is this 4th of July too? Or we're coming close to 4th of July. So
It's next week or 2 weeks, I believe.
One of my favorite founding fathers, Samuel Adams. I think he's a
founding fathers. Happy Father's Day. I guess we're also
to my favorite father, Samuel Adams.
You hear that? You hear that, Worm's dad? Second, your second favorite. Actually, third favorite because I'm his second favorite father.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, dude. You know what? We always talk about craft beer on the podcast. I went and kept it puro Texas right here. ZiegenBock. I think ZiegenBock doesn't get enough love, man. It is a darker, heavier beer, but
I like ZiegenBock. It's pretty good.
I like ZiegenBock a lot. I won't talk about it too much because I've already had it. But Texas, puro pinche Texas, right here.
Puro Texas.
We got it. So we had to keep it Texas. Talk about ZiegenBock. ZiegenBock, I would give it a 1.72. I'm a big fan of ZiegenBock. It doesn't get everybody talks about Shiner. They talk about Lone Star. Where's that ZiegenBock love, man?
And just in case anyone's wondering, this is always a 1.77. It's up there.
All right, so those are our beer reviews. I did show off a little bit of tattoos. David, you have some tattoos?
I've got one or two. I've got an octopus here. I've got, you guys can't see it very well, but right here it says, take a little pizza my heart, because I'm a big pizza fanatic. I've got where the wild things here, where the wild things are here on my arm. I've got about 20 something tattoos, man.
Dang.
Yeah.
I need to catch up. I only have 3.
Yeah. I'm gonna lap you.
Got a bear tattoo. That's about it.
You want to see the bear tattoo?
Yeah, let's see it.
I don't think we could do that in public.
That's for sure.
I have
That's
to
for
take
sure.
down my
Cancel culture.
pants. I have to turn around. I have to.
I think it's still hibernating. It's a lazy one.
Get into its cave. So.
So David, when I invited you on, I talked to you about I would like for you to tell your story, and I don't know how to say it for myself. I don't want to put it in your word, and I don't want to say it. I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
You don't want
I
to
guess what I would say to you is just say it, right? Because you're probably thinking you don't want to offend me or offend anyone listening, but really, I think the offense comes from walking on eggshells. At least for me and in my experience. So, I mean, it's your show, man. Ask away.
Well, I mean, we can all see that flag flying proud behind you.
Yeah.
The Series 2017 San Antonio one.
Yeah.
And I won't even talk about that fucking Boston Red Sox one you got.
Bro, all day right here.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I am a Texas Rangers baseball fan, but I am a Boston Bruins fan. So I get how we, how it is. No, okay, you got.
And he hates the Spurs, but
I hate the Spurs because they got rid of the hockey team here in San Antonio.
Budget cuts, man. Budget cuts.
So that gay flag behind you, it's different from what I've seen. I'm used to just the rainbow colors.
Right.
What is the black and blue triangle looking thing like?
Okay, so good question, because it is new. And I can show you guys closer right here on my bracelet. So this is the pride. It's the progressive pride flag, right? An artist created it or altered it last year. So the black and brown lines stand for people of color, representation of people of color. And then the pink, blue, and white is for trans lives, trans people. So this was a way to include everyone on one banner, especially with everything that went on last year, right, in DC and the killings that were going on, and trans people still feeling that they're not getting their full representation or their, the full rights that they deserve, which is what's happening in some states more so than others. So the flag has been changed or updated, not changed, but updated to include those minority groups, those subgroups, sub pop groups in our society.
So like that one, that's the one that should be, I guess, seen more often now. Like it's like, if let's say if you just have the rainbow flag, you're outdated.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the rainbow flag, the traditional rainbow flag still symbolizes all of that, right? Because it's the LGBTQ plus flag. But for visual representation, this is the newer version.
I thought it was like QIA, Elemental P.
There are, yeah, MTV, HEB, VH1 all up in there. I mean,
I'm all like, shit, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you're not wrong. For a while, it seemed like every month or so they were adding another letter to include, every sub. I don't want to say sub pop, but like every subculture within the gay community. So we shorten it to LGBTQ plus, and that encompasses everybody.
Okay, because see, I see it on social media, and I was like, I never know what to hashtag, like how many letters there really is, and I'm afraid.
Just hit all 26.
Just what?
Just hit all 26.
All 26 letters.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, but it's more so like me trying to figure out like what each one means, because for me, I don't have any like exclusionary thoughts of anybody, and so I kind of just want to know, like, hey, what are you about, and why are you about this kind of thing?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
me too, David. I'll tell you in advance, I'm kind of ignorant, so I do apologize for any stupid questions I ask.
No, man, there. I don't mean to cut you off, but there's no stupid question. It's like I said to George earlier. It's either you ask straight up, or by tiptoeing around it or beating around the bush, it kind of makes it a little bit more awkward.
Okay, great.
More uncomfortable.
So LG, so you know how LGBT, and then you said Q. G's gay, the Q is queer, right?
Right.
What's the difference?
So gay. That's a good question. No, that's a good question, because I'll tell you what,
and I'm scared to Google it, because then they might look at my history.
Delete history. No, man. So gay is strictly for men who are attracted to men, right? So you got a gay guy, obviously dates another man. Lesbians, women interested in women. Queer, the definition of queer is strange or, unknown. So queer kind of encompasses everything. So lesbian, gay, transgender, asexual, pansexual. I can't even go on and on anymore, because there's so many different.
I'll be honest, man, that kind of blew my mind. I just thought it was you said all gay. Well, everything you said about gay, that's why I thought queer. I didn't know queer included all of that also.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think because, and you might think on the same lines as I do, where we grew up where gay was the right term to use, and queer was slander.
Right.
And so when somebody would use that, it was like that one deal that, everybody just apologized for them. It's like, I'm sorry, he's gonna say things, and so you hear that, that slander kind of being said. And so I always thought like, oh, like, I can't believe they're, but I guess it's also like, taking ownership of the word. Like, no, I own the word. And
right.
Now
right. If you take ownership, it can't harm you.
Exactly.
In my experience, even today, like, I'll give you an example. I play on a gay softball team, right? The majority of the guys on our team are gay, and we play in tournaments all across the country, tournaments on the south side of town here. And we played a team, and one of the guys on the team on the other team we were playing asked, he's like, hey, that guy right there, he's kind of funny, right? And so I knew what he was implying, but I asked, I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, he plays on the same team. And I was like, well, yeah, what we all do. And the guy kind of took a step back and was like, what the fuck? And I said, yeah, there's only 2 guys on our team in this tournament specifically that are straight. Everyone else is gay. And he was like, but y'all are some damn good ball players. And I said, well, yeah, just because we're gay doesn't mean we can't play ball. But
we can still kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly. The point of that story was like, even today, people use the word funny or strange to comment about someone that they see that's gay or lesbian. That's the same thing as saying queer. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the actual word has changed, but the meaning is still there.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah.
And so the reason not the reason, but the one that I was like, I want to share your story because I honestly, when I met you, I did not know you were gay. And you also I think at that time you weren't fully out.
Correct.
Or you weren't sharing it with everybody.
Correct.
So I read your post that you did recently for Gay Pride, and we are recording in June. I believe June is Pride Month.
Correct.
So you posted this about Pride, and it was some talking about going gay, or they went gay, and it was kind of like, hey, we never just went. When there wasn't a decision to go there, it was just, this is where we've been, or this is who I have been.
It's who we are. Yeah,
exactly. So that post, when I read it, it kind of like, I've always believed in the fact it's like somebody doesn't just choose to be gay. I think maybe I don't know. I could be wrong too. Like I in some cases, I think some people experiment and maybe they don't like it. I don't know how that works. That's only between them and their college dorm mate. But
well, me and George were roommates, so we experimented. So that's where he was going now. Okay. It got weird with his brother being right there, though.
Speaking of my brother, he's passed out on the couch right now. No, so like we've had other people on the podcast where we talked about how I was very ignorant when I first went into college, and I thought everything was like, I don't want to do that. That's gay, and it didn't mean like, oh, that's actually gay. It was just like lame, and then we talked about how like it offended different people for obvious reasons. And I had to learn, like, oh, I can't use those kind of terms. But then I would see or hear a lot of people say, oh, he went gay, or, he ended up being gay. I was like, oh, he was like, or she, like they ended up being gay. I was like, no, they didn't end up being gay. And it was something I learned thanks to my friends, that it's like, it wasn't a choice. It was finally a choice for me to accept it, like for them. Like if they finally accept it within themselves,
right?
In some cases, and in other cases, like no, they've always knew about it and they were always fine with it. And so I guess that's why I wanted you on the podcast to kind of explain your process and to accepting to be able to be opened up. Like, how did you accept to be opened about it?
Yeah, so I guess for me, I've since I was a kid, and I can remember back 5 years old, in kindergarten, I had my first crush, and it happened to be on one of my classmates who is a boy. And I thought it was just more of an attraction to him because we were boys, we liked the same things, so boys play together, all that kind of stuff. We had nap time, we would share blankets at nap time, we would spend the night at each other's houses, and again, at 5 years old, you don't know what these feelings that are coming up are. I just thought they were just, oh, he's going to be my best friend for life. Growing up through the school years, or as I grew up, I just, realized that I wasn't as attracted to girls as I was to boys. Like I found boys cuter than before I found a girl to be pretty or hot. But then growing up as an only child, you know, my parents' only son, my dad being the athlete that he was all through high school and as an adult, that wasn't that macho, that Hispanic macho mindset was, I won't say drilled into me, but it was instilled. You know, you have to play sports, you have to be outside playing or working, helping out your grandparents, or just, you know, just being a man or growing up to be a man. And every new school year was, who's your girlfriend? What, you know, do you have a girlfriend? And it was never like, who do you like, or who are you seeing? It was always a girlfriend. There was never that option for, do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or, you know, or are you dating a dog? You know what I'm saying? It was always just a girlfriend.
Ay, mijo, when are you gonna bring me a girl?
Right.
Y las muchachas, mijo, ¿cómo están las muchachas? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the grandmother saying, when are you gonna, you know, get married and have grandchildren? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Later on in life, not in 8th grade, but like later on in life.
But
So it
hold
was,
on, before you keep going, I do want
Yeah.
to say, since you mentioned, would you say that the reason that high school girls did not like me in high school was because they were gay?
no, they would have liked you more.
I was just ugly then.
They would have liked you a lot more because you would have done their hair, their makeup, picked out their outfits.
Oh shit.
Maybe okay, so then I was just ugly. Okay, was.
No, you are, bro.
No, so
You wouldn't make it in either world, bro. It's all good. Hey, in fairness, neither would I.
Well, you guys could start a new letter, right? A new subculture, and add that letter to the
There you go.
alphabet.
We'll do H hard.
H2H2F.
No, HF hard fast.
HM.
LGBT2H2F.
LGBTQ plus HF, dude. 2H2F.
Because we go too hard, too fast.
There you go. Oh, that'll make you real popular.
Yeah, in neither end, I guess the same way. So you know, after college or after high school, still like you
Yeah.
You
So
know,
fast forward to graduating high school, in college. That's when I started like really experimenting with my being attracted to guys. College didn't pan out for me right after high school, so I joined the military. I spent
Right after high school?
2 years after high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went to college for 2 years. I was tanking, so I said, you know, screw it. Let's join. I joined the Marine Corps. So I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps.
Very quick, I'm sorry. Where were you born and raised? San Antonio?
Here in San Antonio, yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So
one thing we asked for San
What high
Antonio
school?
people-
Don't tell me
Holmes High School,
Jefferson.
class of 01.
Huh?
What high
No, no,
school?
what high school?
Holmes.
Holmes?
Holmes.
Which one is
Yeah,
that?
man.
That's
Is that one on
bad,
410?
That's the one on 410 in Ingram. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's in
Oh,
the
wait.
hood now.
Is that by Ingram Mall?
That's across the street. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Is
Dang, that's hardcore.
that a good school or it's an okay?
I can't speak to it now, but back in 2001, we were pretty good. Yeah.
It was,
Athletically and academically.
yeah, and I hated playing against you guys for football.
Yeah.
Like, dang. Oh, we're playing home now.
Yeah. So yeah, it was honestly after my second deployment to Iraq, once I came back home, that I decided I was going to finish college first of all. So I enrolled at Texas State, and then
Hey, I'm sorry, Dave. Before all that, you were in the Marines for 8 years though?
8 years. Yeah.
So what happened during that time though?
As far as like my orientation and
Yeah. Like, did you have to conceal it, or were you
yeah, you
spotted
gotta-
during- or like what? I don't know. Yeah, what did you go through? I guess
Yeah,
during the
so-
military.
during that time that I was in, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was still in play. So
Was that good or was that bad? Because I guess
Eh,
either way.
it was good in the sense that like if you're a lesbian or gay, you could still enlist in the military. But if they found out, then you could be dishonorably discharged.
Okay.
So it was a whole like, hey, really walking on eggshells. Like, so my whole time in the Marine Corps, I dated women. I went out, I hung out with the guys in my unit. We deployed, came back, and it was just always, finding girls to go out with, hang out with, so on and so forth. And then towards the end of my second enlistment, or my 8-year enlistment, that's when they repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It was Obama that repealed that. So that was a huge thing, because now we could openly serve in the military.
So please ask, please tell.
Right, exactly. And I was on my way out already, so I didn't really spend too much. I think I had maybe 6 months left on my contract, so I was out the door. I don't really know how my friends or any of my friends dealt with it afterward, as far as, if they are gay, so on and so forth, if they came out publicly or still kept it secret, especially in the Marine Corps. It's kind of intimidating.
So you never came out while in the Marine Corps then?
No.
Right? Even after Obama's administration and everything?
No, I was too afraid of being discharged dishonorably.
Oh, okay.
But even then, you guys were going through a lot of stuff at that time anyways. Like, was that even was there even like a moment where you could even think about who am I versus?
No, it was the time that I was there, we were constantly deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan. So it was like a deployment to Iraq, you get back for a few months, and then another few months train, and then deploy again. So we were, like George says, we were constantly busy. There was no time, even on our downtime, it was prepping for, all right, guys, in a couple of months, we're getting ready to leave again. So, that's a good point. I never even thought about that till right now.
Yeah, you're probably dealing with more internal issues of like,
don't get killed in Iraq.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't even imagine like that kind of stuff, and then maybe not even knowing who you are, because at that age, we don't know who we are in the first place,
right?
Of any kind, like who we associate with or what I feel like I'm about. Everybody's still exploring. So, and then you're dealing with the thought of like, I'm going to a situation that's not technically safe.
Oh yeah, not technically, like it wasn't safe. Like
yeah, I know, right?
Well, I'm speaking from a person that I never served in the military.
Oh yeah. No, but like I'm telling you, like there was no safe place. Even on base, you had to be ready, because there's locals that worked on base too. So we never knew. Your head's always on the swivel.
Yeah.
Hey, true. Cheers! Thanks for your service.
Cheers! That's true. Hey, cheers, David. Thanks for your service, brother.
Thank you.
And then before we move on to your college and post military service, so would you agree with this quote regarding the military? Only steers and queers come from Texas. What do you think about that,
Sir, Texas, sir! Holy dog shit! Texas, only steers and queers come from Texas, private cowboy.
There's a lot of queers that come from Texas.
Well,
and you know what movie I'm referencing though?
Yeah, that's on a few movies, but what comes to mind is, don't get this wrong, is it Full Metal Jacket?
Full Metal Jacket, brother.
Yeah.
But in that same case, you would have to answer that yourself, because like you're in Texas and you don't look like a steer to me.
Yeah.
And you don't much look like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down.
Puro pinche Texas. I don't care which one I am.
I got you right here.
There it is. I got this one.
Hey, so in Full Metal Jacket, you know how it starts off in boot camp? Is that how the Marine boot camp really is?
That's exactly how it is.
I think the guy who was an actor, though, he really was a sergeant, though. Right?
The drill instructor, Harley Ermey, he was actually a drill instructor in the Marine Corps.
Yeah. I remember reading that. Yeah, I'm like, damn, that's bad. And he did it badass.
Oh yeah, he actually, I don't know if you know the backstory, but like they brought him on to coach the original actor was supposed to play, and he told him, he was like, why don't you just hire me? I'm the actual drill instructor. This is what I did. And when they saw him acting it out, they were like, give it to him.
Damn, that's badass, dude. That was probably the best decision they could have ever made.
Yeah, he made the movie.
Yeah.
How old were you when you watched it, David?
Man, I honestly, the first time I saw it, I was a kid. It might have been like right when it came out on VHS initially. VHS, right?
Yeah. What is
But I remember watching it with my parents, or at least with my dad, but not really paying attention to the movie because I was a kid and wasn't really interested in military movies at the time. And then they showed it to us again. Well, I watched it right after high school with my buddies. And then during boot camp, they would show us clips of the movie all the time.
Nice.
So, I
Worm,
mean,
how old were you?
what you see on that movie as far as boot camp and how their actors are going through it, that's essentially how boot camp is in the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Dang. What did inspire you to choose the Marine Corps over the other branches, I guess?
So I was a freshman in high school when I was in ROTC, and my flight, and at home, ROTC is Air Force. So like my flight commander or whatever his role was, he was talking to us about going into the Marine Corps.
Oh shit.
And he showed me all the propaganda, all the flyers, all the stickers, all the videos. And I was hooked, man. I was like, all right, this is dope. And then, then you find out it's the longest boot camp. It's the hardest boot camp. Marine Corps, they're the first to fight. Everyone loves the Marines. So I was like, yeah, that's me. Like, that's what I want to do.
Nice.
And
by high school, you already knew, I mean, I guess more or less what your orientation was, right?
Well, I mean, I had girlfriends in high school, but yeah, I mean, I knew inside like that I was dating girls just as a front to make my parents happy. Like I knew that. You're right.
Okay. Well, I mean, the only reason I'm asking that is because if in high school, yeah, you knew you were doing that as a front, but you knew your orientation. Were you concerned, like joining the military, that I don't know, I guess that would come out eventually, or
no,
or it wasn't even
not at all.
Not
at all, because I had a girlfriend at the time when I was in boot camp and during my first couple of years in the Marine Corps, and there was never a question of like fidelity to her. Like that was my girlfriend, and I mean that was my girl.
Dang.
So yeah, I mean, I would fly down to San Antonio to visit her on weekends, fly her up. Like even though I was stationed in California and she was back here in college in Houston, every moment that I had some free time, I was either talking to her or with her. So I mean, I was committed to that relationship.
Nice. So do these past girlfriends, do they blame themselves?
No.
You went just joking.
Nah. One of them does. Tell her it's your fault. All the time.
Por tu culpa.
If you would have did it right,
Oh, shit.
Oh man, you made him play for the other team.
Yeah. Traded me.
Yep.
All
right.
I was thinking, I've never understood why it matters to the military or to almost anybody. I mean, I guess it shouldn't matter to anybody. Like this whole topic and podcast probably shouldn't even have to exist, right? Like,
No, you're right.
but it does, and I'm sure like it hopefully somebody that's out there will be listening and hopefully help somebody realize that it's okay to just be who they are and whoever they need to be. And we're going to talk more about that. But in the military or in any kind of other aspect where you join as a team, is it because there's fear that, oh, he's going to look at me naked while I change? Is that what it is? Or is it more deep in the military? Because I think in the military, it's like, hey, I don't care what you believe in or what you do, as long as I know when it comes down to it, you got my back and you're pulling me out, and I'm going to pull you out of whatever situation we get ourselves in, kind of thing. Like I can count on you to have my back, kind of stuff.
No, I think it's deeper than just a fear of being looked at. I think it's more of a fear of the unknown, man. Like you guys both said at the beginning, like you're naive, right? You didn't really know what it meant to be for a man to be a gay man, or what the Q in LGBTQ was, right? Like, and
we didn't grow up
that,
around it. Like I think in high school there was only one open gay guy in my
right, and
school,
see, and 20 years ago that was the norm,
right,
because it wasn't socially acceptable. I remember in high school there were two guys that were open, and this was all high school, but we knew who the other gay guys were, right? Because, and I hate to say this because it's like stereotyping, but you can tell, for the most part.
In certain situations, yeah. And people will whisper rumors,
or people whisper, or someone hooks up with someone and goes in next Friday in the cafeteria. They're saying, what happened. But whatever the case, we knew it wasn't talked about because those were our friends. We didn't want anyone to get in trouble. But to look back to answer your question, I think it's just a fear of the unknown, a fear of like not understanding what it means to be a gay man or a gay woman, a lesbian, because just because I'm a gay man doesn't mean that I'm going to hit on you specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go around and hit on every woman because you don't find every woman attractive. You might, George.
Hey, my wife listens to this.
but you know what I'm saying?
I go to all. Hey, how you doing? It's like
because really, it's a numbers game. The more you play the lottery, the more chances you have to win.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I forget who I'm talking
to. Hey, we go 2 hours too fast, man.
But like I said, you can be popular in my clubs too.
No shit.
With that same said, like, just because we could hit on everybody doesn't mean the people that we're hitting on is going to be reciprocated.
Right. But or just, like you said, just because you can hit on every woman doesn't mean that you want to hit on every woman. Yeah, you have your like. You have a type. You know what I'm saying? Right. And everybody has a certain type of person that they're attracted to. I wouldn't be married to my husband if he wasn't attracted to someone that looked like me. He wouldn't, and I wouldn't have asked him out if I wasn't attracted to that type of person. So, and I think that's what I'm getting at is like the fear of the unknown is like, just because there's a gay man in the room doesn't mean that I'm going to try to, hook up or sleep with every one of you in this room or even any of you, because, and people have asked me this before, like in the Marine Corps, was there anyone that I had a crush on? And, anyone in my unit or my platoon or deployed, and I tell them no, because like my job was to train to save this person's life and this person's life, and their job was to train to save my life. And then when we were actually deployed and shit hit the fan, well, we were actually saving one another's lives. And so that's more of a respect and a brotherhood and a bond that I built with them over something superficial as, well, I just want to sleep with you because I think you're hot. Right. Those thoughts never entered my mind.
More as a brother than you did.
Right.
Yeah. It's legit.
How about like in the workplace though? Because I think in the workplace it gets a little more. I mean, I'm not saying you or you, but it just things get a little more dicier where it is more.
I mean,
fun.
In the workplace, you're talking about like out of the military, right? Like civilian life.
Oh yeah, like civilian.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but that's more also like a thing where like, obviously it's gonna be something like I said earlier, reciprocated. If that person is reciprocating your own feelings and thoughts, ideas of, hey, yeah, we work together, but like, I don't know, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, and that's happened to me, and honestly, when like right around the time that I met you, the first year that we worked together, I wasn't out. My closest friends knew that I was attracted to guys, but I wasn't out, which led to me dating someone, in the workplace. And then it was around this time, 10 years ago, that news article came out where I did that interview. And I mean, we all know screenshots and pictures were taken and sent to everyone at work, and all of a sudden I'm outed to everyone at work.
All right, so H2Fers, I think this is where we're going to pause the conversation with David Alfaro. He'll be back Thursday. We'll be back Thursday. Or maybe we'll be back. Jueves. Maybe we'll be back. Now we'll be back. But with that said, Worm, what are you going to say?
Hey, Texas, I may not be able to ask, but you could tell. No. Wait.
That was good. I like that. That was funny.
It wasn't.
Tell. Yeah, man, be comfortable. Be who you are. Because you know what? Dare to be you, dare to be weird. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.
Está loco.